through to tell when you come back?
Can you promise that I will come back?
No.
The Lord of the Rings trilogy is one of the best fantasy films of all time. If I had to pick one film out of the series that I would consider my favorite, it would be the third film, Return of the King. It ended the series on a good note, it added depth to the characters, and it was epic as hell. That's why it's one of my favorite films of all time. When I heard they were going to make a prequel, or should I say, prelude, I said, how can they do this? How can they possibly make another one when they ended the series on a good note? Well, here's how. They got the original stars back, they got the original director, Peter Jackson, and they got the original studio, New Line Cinema, who funded the last 3 films. So, is it as good as the other ones? Well, I guess there's only one way to find out then. Before the events of the Fellowship of the Ring, and before Frodo went on his quest to destroy the Ring and Mordor, Bilbo Baggins was a nice little hobbit living in the town of the Shire, a peaceful village known to hobbits. A bunch of dwarves named
Fili, Kili, Oin, Loin, Darlin, Balin, Dori, Sorin, Oakenshield
shows up at Bilbo's doorstep to tell him that they have to go to a lonely mountain called, well, the Lonely Mountain, aka Auerboard, in order to destroy a terrible dragon called Smudge, which destroyed the city of Dale, which is unknown to Middle-earth, that destroyed a precious diamond called the Arkenstone, and asks Bilbo to go with him. He eventually agrees after 5 minutes of negotiating, and the rest of the film follows our heroes trying to save Middle-earth from the evil Smudge. Well, let me just say this. The cast is still great. Martin Freeman, Ian McKellen, Cate Blanchett, Hugo Weaving, Christopher Lee, and Elijah Wood. If you're a fan of Lord of the Rings, then the characters are no stranger to you. They're likable and memorable, and they pretty much do the exact same job they did in those films, as well as in this installment. They were pretty good. The dwarfs, I will admit, they are actually pretty likable. They're not boring or generic. No, each one of them have different personalities. One is smart, the other one is the comic relief, and another is very determined. It's very well done. Unlike another film that I know, Mirror Mirror, where the dwarves were just bland in every sense. The Lord of the Rings movies are not only well known for their characters, but also for their creature designs. The creatures, including the goblins, trolls, and rock monsters, could have been developed with more creativity. Gollum is an exception. Because as most of you may know, if you are Lord of the Rings fans out there, Gollum was the main antagonist in the films. This film, however, does have its share of problems. For example, let's talk about the first 10 minutes. There are 2 moments in the film where the dwarves start to sing. Twice. And I honest to God felt like I was watching a Lord of the Rings musical. Oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry. There already is a Lord of the Rings musical. Well then, never mind. The Lord of the Rings movies are also well known for their use of storytelling, which in the original films, they were good. But here, almost every character, with the exception of Gandalf and Frodo, which only appears on screen for like a minute, has a different backstory. And it's like, it's not needed. I just felt it was a little bit distracting. It's like, hey, you know what? We have all these characters that appear on screen. Let's make them each have a different backstory. And let's make them fit in with an already 2.5-hour movie. Dude, this is why we have deleted scenes. This is why we have the phrase cutting room floor. And this is also why we have the extended versions that are released over a certain time period. To me, I thought it lost the audience a bit. Overall, The Hobbit will be very similar to the Star Wars prequels. We had the original films, and then over a certain time period, they released the prequels. And then after that, it was called a complete franchise. So if any of you are die-hard Lord of the Rings fans out there, then you should check this one out. It is definitely not one of the best in the series. However, as a film by itself on its own, it's just good. It might be up for Oscars, and because of this, it is definitely worth your time. It's just a good movie. Not fantastic, but worth your time. 3.5 star out of 5. This has been a Moviedudeinc review, saving you from bad movies, one movie at a time.